Oh, Kim, you mentioned you have multiple food allergies yourself, and your company advises groups and people on eating allergy-free in addition to gluten-free. What advice do you have for people with food allergies?
The advice that I would give people that have food allergies is it's similar to the questions that I typically ask as far as about gluten free. Is that instead of saying, does this dish contain dairy or is this dish peanut free? A lot of times, restaurants and the chefs that they don't think about some of the ingredients of the food preparation. So, for example, from dairy, I'm obviously allergic to dairy and I can't have any casein. And so, when you order a steak, a lot of times that, restaurants don't say that they finish it off with butter. So if I'm ordering a steak anywhere, I say, oh, do you finish it off with butter? And if they say yes, then I say, well, obviously I can't have any butter. For different soups, for example, French onion soup, to make sure that they don't saute the onions in butter. Um, for even for vegetables to make sure that the vegetables are sautéed in oil rather than in butter. So those are some of the easier ones. For an example, for peanuts, a lot of times people don't think of artificial mashed potato mix, and there's some artificial mashed potato mixes that do have peanuts in it. So the question there, instead of saying, well, do your mashed potatoes have peanuts in it, that you'd say, are your mashed potatoes made are they real or are they, made from a mix, depending upon the type of restaurant that you're going to. As far as for tree nuts, for example, sometimes creme brulee as a dessert is made with almond extract. So again, instead of saying, well, that you wouldn't typically think about creme brulee and say, oh, well, does it have any tree nuts in it? But if you ask and use, then that's one of the reasons obviously we had written our book series is using that as a guideline or a reference. So in that way, then you have like some of those really specific questions. I think that's extremely helpful, and that's it just gets a little bit more complicated when you have multiple food allergies. But obviously, I have multiple food allergies, and it works.